We're outside our hotel room, and this gentleman needed help moving the car, so Crawler ran down. What a good guy.
That's a heavy-ass car.
Nice job, babe.
I moved it a whole foot.
Give me a smile.
Day 154, I want to say it is. I don't know, I haven't checked. Walking back to the grocery store, going to get some breakfast. There's an old ass building. This is how they get the power in the town. The water comes down the tube, spins some jennies in here, or spins a turbine. I'm guessing that's what that thing is. And it only takes 4 cars to run this place. Wonder what they actually do here. Like, what do you have to do? I bet you're mostly sitting around playing on your phone. But still an impressive tube. Ooh, I wonder where that leads in house. I want to go in there. Interesting name for a place to buy your alcohol. Hit and run. I knew it. I scared that little bitch so bad she's running all the way back home. Wee, all the way home. Yeah, that's what you get. Trying to mow me. Don't play, Holmes. You don't know me. Hail Satan! I think that's made out of rock, man. I'd go touch it, but there's keep out signs all over the place. It's in progress, I'm assuming. Or they're just going to leave it rough like that. That's really cool, too. I don't know what it is, but it's cool. Okay, so last night here. Hopefully the chafe is healed. We'll see how that goes. Bad news is there's a hurricane hitting right now. It's halfway through Florida, Georgia area, but it's pushing a bunch of storms this way, and they'll all start hitting tomorrow. So plan is to hit the trail, run to a shelter, and hide in the shelter. Maybe even sleep in the shelter tonight, just let storms pass through on it, because I don't know how bad they're going to be. But yeah, that's Lou's plan. Once we're on the trail, we're on the trail. So a couple more days, I believe we're in Kent. And then we're going to be meeting up with, and this has been in the plans for a while, just haven't told you guys about it. 12 is meeting one of her friends, and she'll be hiking with us for a few days, I think 5 days or some such. So we'll see how that goes. That should be interesting. Alright, so back on trail. See you guys in the morning. Good night. Day 153. I was off on the day yesterday, but I didn't check, so yeah, that's what happens when you take too many days off. You lose track. Today's going to be an interesting one. We've got the hurricane moving up the coast, so tonight is expected to be extreme thunderstorms, severe flooding. Like this whole area is under a massive flood watch and whatnot. So the plan is there's a shelter about 8 miles up. We'll go to that one. We'll see how we feel. If we feel we can continue on, there's a shelter like 15 miles up. So we'll see if we can make it to that one. But yeah, planning on, I'm probably not even going to hang my hammock. Maybe I'll hang it inside the shelter because I don't have a mat to sleep on or anything. And my shoulder went out on me yesterday or day before. It's not working right. I can't look down very well. It's a spinal issue. It's happened before. Need something to pop on its own, or wait till I get back to Arizona and have my chiropractor fix me. But oh hey, that was a nice little crack. But I'm hoping it fixes itself along the way. It should. But yeah, I don't want to set up my hammock or anything just in case I don't know what the winds are going to be like, because this isn't a very powerful hurricane. It's not even a hurricane anymore. It's just very slow moving. But I don't know. Do I have to worry about limbs falling from the trees and whatnot? That's why I don't want to set up my hammock. I don't need some holes in it. But we'll see. We'll see. We got to get our asses back to the trail. That's always kind of a burden in itself, but you know, that's next on the agenda. See you out there. Okay, we got a ride up the way by this nice lady. I don't remember her name, but she took a big chance on us. We're her first hitch ever. She's like, I've never picked up hitchhikers. And I was like, and me of all people. Alright, but from where we're at, it's just a quick walk up the road, across a bridge, up a blue blaze, and then we're back on trail. Might as well sit here for a moment. So we've decided to hang out here under the slight safety of the umbrellas for a little bit. Let this first front pass through, and then we'll carry on. It's supposed to only rain for an hour or so right now. And then we have, according to the phones anyway, a few hours of not rain and then rain for the next 4 days. But it's a very slow moving hurricane, so I'm not expecting like high winds or anything, just a lot of rain. So in my mind, not a whole lot of trees are going to come down or anything, because, you know, it's just wet ground. It's not wet and windy. But who knows? I'm no meteorologist. Alright, so maybe we left those umbrellas a little prematurely. It started sprinkling pretty heavily again. So we're going to stop in this covered bridge right here, put on some plastic and such, and carry on. We got some weird white birds. I don't know what they are. They look storky, but like really tiny storks. I don't know. Does not look like this thing was meant to be walked on, but you know, it'll work. People did not like us being in that bridge for, you know, just putting on some plastic, and they were speeding by, but there's not a lot of room. So one guy tried to speed by us in a big old truck, and his mirror clipped the side and broke his mirror. It just snapped off a big plastic piece. He had to turn around and go retrieve it. But yeah, just slow the fuck down, man. Everybody's just being jerks about it. Plenty of room in there for us all, you know. We're just walking through, made a little wardrobe change. Not gonna take it. I think they thought homeless people were setting up camps or something, is how they were acting. But anyway, we're on a trail. It's a blue trail, but it's headed towards our red trail. For our first water crossing, let's see how rough it looks. Still nice. It looks a little more intense over there. Look, this trail doesn't have any water crossings, so. But you know, everything needed a good bath anyway, so. I don't know how much they're predicting for here, but you know, down where it's actually hitting, they're getting 30 inches in this storm, or predicted as much. That's an insane amount. I doubt we're getting anything like that up here, but it's gonna rain for a while. Oh, big and fast. And we're off. I know it's hard to tell, but we're back on trail. There's a blaze on that tree right there. Follow this road for a little bit, and then I'm assuming it turns back into dirt. But we're off the road that everybody's traveling. It's a really busy road for having a thin, one car at a time, you know, one direction bridge. Seems outdated. Yeah, we're gonna play it by ear today. Get to that first shelter, see how long it takes, how rainy it's been or going to be, and maybe stop there. We're not trying to do big miles. We're just trying to find a place to ride out a storm. So here's where we jump back on if we were diligent little trail followers. But we have this road that leads also where we're going without going up into that stuff. So yes, this indeed is the way we are going. Thanks for giving me the option. But I like the wide trail, flat trail that leads exactly where I'm going. So it still takes us to that shelter in 7 miles if we want to jump off there, because we just skirt next to the AT the whole time. There's trails going up it if we desire, which I can't imagine why we would. But you know, if it started coming down really good. So we're thinking we'll take this mile up, or this thing up, and then right before Kent, it intersects the trail again, and then another 7 miles up or something. From there is the next shelter, and we're hoping maybe to make it there before the storm hits, because then we'll feel like we did something good, especially if we're, you know, trapped there partially tomorrow as well. Now, I'm not going to go out in a downpour, I tell you that. But if I'm out in a downpour, that's a whole other story. But if I'm sitting in a nice dry shelter and it's downpouring, I'm not leaving. Well, might be the last time we see that for a while. Oh, it was just shining hardly, but I guess a cloud moved in between us. I still see blue patches though. But that is the main plot driver for the next few days. Debbie is her name. Such a non-threatening name for something that's coming in. But I guess, she only hit landfalls of Category 1. That is pretty non-threatening. I resorted to a bug net. They're harassing me. But at least it's just gnats going on. So I don't have to worry about them biting the tip of my nose and my ears where things are touching. They just want to dive bomb my eyeballs. But good luck. So this whole walk follows the river, which explains why it's so buggy. Hard to eat through it. Can't even tell this river is moving. Oh, we're gonna be moving soon now. Probably produces some pretty interesting waterfalls in a huge storm. So we got more clouds coming in. This is, the real wave. Oh yeah, it's starting to sprinkle already. They're barely moving, so it tells me if it starts raining, it's going to keep raining for a while. So we are at a point where we have the option of going up here for the North Detour. We're walking this bike path here for a little while and then dirt road until the shelter. And guess which one I'm going to take? Yep, you were correct, the easy path. It'd be nice to get to the shelter before the storm, but either way, it's all good. They had this nice contraption for us on the way. I had to flip a lever and turn that on, but hey, voila, we had water coming out of these bad boys, easy to fill your bottle with. Rather appreciating Bork Racket Center. We're in a really rich neighborhood, a bunch of rich schools and stuff all over the place. But it's like a ghost town all at the same time. So yet again, we have the option to go up to the AT, but now we're going to stick on this little side trail and follow the river for a while. Careful, this road isn't maintained in the winter season. So we've intersected the AT again. There happens to be some chairs for us to hang out at. It's hiker parking, it says. We were about to have lunch, so this is pretty much perfect. Even though the road hasn't changed, we're back on the AT again. No alcohol, no glass, no swimming, and it closes at sunset. Okay. Oh. Vehicle hiding in the woods. Didn't even notice it. So we're almost the way to the second shelter. It hasn't started raining yet. That's where we're gonna stay. It's way early in the day. It's only 12:30. But yeah, it's right on the river and whatnot, so that might be pretty cool. I don't remember it, but it looks like it's right on the river. It seems like it could be a good place to ride out the storm. Sure, we could make another 5 miles or so before the end of our usual day. Maybe even more, but not many. But not really worth it. I think I might want to hang out into a shelter tonight. And maybe the next couple of nights, depending. I don't know how bad these things are going to be, but it is coming off a hurricane. Or what once was. It's very destructive, because it's not even a level 1 anymore. Now it's a tropical depression, but like probably the most destructive tropical depression I've ever paid attention to. So yeah, I don't know what'll happen if rain hung out here for a few days. Do trees just fall over without wind when the ground gets too moist? I'd like to think they don't. You guys seem pretty balanced to me. Well, except you. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see what the winds are like. This is our last water source before the shelter. So loaded up everything I could. All my bottles are filled. Just in case it starts raining real good and I don't feel like going out to get water. See you up there. I'm gonna go scope out the situation, see how comfortable it is. Stewart Hollow Shelter. Oh, there's a human up there already, and he is naked. So this one's kind of fancy. They got like numbered campsites and whatnot. A few of them. This dude back there, he was butt naked. I said, "Hey, how you doing, naked guy?" He wasn't ashamed, which no need to be. We got a bright little bear box. Bears can't see blue. See a picnic table. Oh, this shelter looks like shit. That's a sad-ass shelter. Oh, it's one of the ones with the moats in front of it so that the porcupines can't get you. Oh, yeah, that's a shithole. I love it. Okay, so I'm not going to stay in that shelter. That thing's a shithole. So I'm thinking of swinging between that one and that one. Oh, and that is a dead tree, but it's not leaning towards me or anything. It's got nothing above me. And everything above me appears alive, but I see living big bass branches on the ground all the time. I could swing between these two here, but that's not as good of a ground as that. But this will probably fill up with water. I mean, seeing how flat it is, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't see where it would run off to, so I imagine it would puddle here. So even if I do sleep somewhere out here, I should probably either build myself something raised out of logs and stuff and then put my floor on it, or keep some of my stuff in the shelter. I'm going to check around. I'm leaving my pole behind because that's a marker that I own that spot. Just in case others show up. I doubt they will, but you don't want to lose a good spot just because you were going around looking for a better spot. So since we're sleeping in the woods anyway, like, why stop here? So we're going to push on. There is a place in 3.2 at campgrounds that has a pavilion. Ooh. So, I mean, the shelter sucks. It's not much of a shelter. I don't want to be stuck here all day. So let's push down for another 3. And it's down the same road that we're going down. I mean, the AT turned into a trail/road that leads along this river. Quite pleasant to walk, rather flat. Seems most of the stones have been moved out and turned into the walls. So, might as well. Another 3, I bet we can do that in just over an hour. Not moving real quick. My ankle does still hurt from where I twisted it the other day. It goes from hurting really, really, really bad for a while. I try to click it and it eventually stops hurting and then it comes back. It's been going in waves. Feels different though. It's not just the ankle. It's like the bones in my feet hurt, but just on the right side. I'm assuming it's just bruised or something. It'll go. Everything does. There's a pleasant little stroll. 3 miles is no problem. And the next place looked way better. Couldn't look much worse than that one. I'm a little high end. I need a pavilion with some benches so I can sit on a bench and not get rain on me. They're so official with their campsites, their painted signs and whatnot. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ah, that was kind of close. My foot went part way off the edge. Just a sliver. Feels like the calm before the storm. The shelter we're heading to, or pavilion and all that, does not have water, but luckily there's water about a half mile beforehand. As soon as we saw how bad that shelter was, we dumped our water we'd collected. Hell no, I ain't carrying that another 3 miles. Ducks. Nuh-uh. Oh, it's telling you to duck under it. Oh, I get it. Ha! It took me a second. I'm a little slow. Duck. We managed to avoid most of the ups and downs of the trail today. But the last part we can't. So laden with water, we have to climb. Trust me, if there was an elevator or an escalator, I'd be on it. But sometimes when you're hiking, you gotta walk to the places you want to go. I mean, you gotta go by trail. I like the second time around, no obligations. I go where I want. And I would not be here right now if I didn't do exactly what I did. So obviously I did everything right. Starting to get a little dark. It's pretty early in the day, man. It's 2:20. But we're probably slightly less than a half mile from where we need to be. But as mentioned, it is uphill. And I got a lot of water on my back because I don't know how hard it's going to rain. I just know it's associated with a hurricane, or once was a hurricane. And so I want plenty of water to make coffee if I'm sitting around in a pavilion. And I am willing to carry 1, 2, 3, 4.5 liters. And really, if it's raining hard, I can just catch it off the roof. But I didn't want to rely on that. Bring my own water. But if I'm there for a really long time, I'll start collecting it off the roof. So I guess the last part wasn't the steep part. This is the steep part. But it's only 0.4 of this. It's a really nice wall. Got a little more still. I think it's a little more quiet. I don't think that's bugs. I think that's ringing in my ears. But the only way I can really tell is if I plug my ears and I still hear it. But I got stuff in my hands. Speaking of my hands, my thumb is... Alright, that's good stuff right there. Focus. Just that white part that was in there is now black. That's kind of cool. It's very emo compared to my other thumb. The humidity level is rising. Or maybe it's because I'm exerting myself a little more. I very well couldn't get much more wet from my own sweat. Silver Hill Camping is the name of the place. I don't download the photos on there. I don't know why, I just don't. But on Guthooks you can download a random photo somebody might have taken of the place. More often than not, their shit photos are not really helpful, but every once in a while it does take a decent picture of the area. What is that I'm seeing? Oh, bear box. If I blew out here, it throws me off. Okay, let's see if there's anybody else here. We haven't been seeing many people, but that doesn't mean anything. Oh, very simple. Nice. Looks like there are hammocking spots. There's trees all over the place if I want them. Or if nobody's here, I can... I don't know. Yeah, this feels like enough room. We'll see. So I'm building Camp Crawler, and I realized I could gather up a bunch of the stuff I normally kick out of the way and make a nice little mound that extends all the way over, and I have a raised floor so none of my stuff gets wet. The water will flow right under it. Yeah, that's what I believe. We'll see how it works out. So 12 set up on this thing, this little platform here, because it's got great drainage. So if it does rain really hard, which it might, I don't know, she won't get flooded. That was the spot she was thinking about, so we'll see how that lady fares. Look how nice and new and white her tent is. I used to have one like that. Can't stealth camp in that. Camp Crawler's over here. I believe I'm safe from weather. I don't have any big branches above me. Both my trees are young and strong. But nothing big is above me, so I feel pretty good about this decision. I had quite a few options, but there's lots of big branches just hanging out all over the place. And you know there's a storm coming, but I don't believe this is the big one. I believe this is just stuff that was kind of headed our way. And maybe aided by a little bit of, the storm down south. But I don't think the storm down south is far enough north to really give us the big stuff yet. So let's see what happens, man. There was a hurricane last time I hiked this trail, and it actually passed by pretty well. Didn't do much, but it made the weather nice where I was at for a couple weeks after. So I'm hoping maybe there's that effect. Alright, so gonna sleep. I'm planning on sleeping in because it's supposed to rain all night and like a good chunk of tomorrow morning and then stop. So We're thinking we weren't going to leave until the sun was up. Don't want to go hiking in the dark in the rain. That doesn't sound like fun at all. So that's the plan. See you in the morning. Good night.